If you take a look through NBA history, it's actually very, very rare for a star to play better in the playoffs compared to the regular season. In most cases, the game slows down, the defense tightens up, and their numbers fall off a little bit. However, in the case of Julius Randle and DeAndre Ayton, these two guys have fallen off a cliff, but in completely different ways. And it's not just a one-time thing either. It's happened in multiple series across multiple postseasons now. How's it going, folks? My name's Andy, and in this video, let's take a detailed look at why they're not producing up to expectations, and what's causing them to struggle. Without further ado, let's get started. As a Knicks fan, my opinion of Julius Randle has been like every other Knicks fan. When he's playing well, he's an absolute stud, and brings a level of excitement that captivates the entire crowd. But when he's off, he's really off. It's frustrating to watch him go into a downward spiral, and he usually ends up getting benched in the fourth quarter. And in those games where he's not playing well, you don't want to see him have the ball, cause nothing good is gonna happen. That's the thing with Randle that perplexes me. Some stars can get out of a slump mid-game, but not Randle. If he's in a slump, he's not getting out of it. It was like this back in the 2021 playoffs too, where he played horribly against the Hawks, who wasn't even a good defensive team. And against great defenses, he struggles even more. This time, it's more of the same. It's easy to blame it on his injured ankle or whatever, but that's a cop-out. Defenses focus on Randle and take advantage of his bad habits. His major weakness is his decision-making, especially when it comes to getting double-teamed. Sometimes when he drives to the paint with his head down, he doesn't know what to do. He's either forcing up a contested shot or turning the ball over. Plays like these, for example, you can see he has the option to make an easy pass out of there, but he doesn't even look in any other direction except for the basket. Another play here. In the regular season, he could easily make the pass in a low-pressure situation. He's a good passer, but at this point in the game, he's already frustrated, and he's just trying to bulldoze his way to the rim. This is what he resorts to when he's not hitting shots. And even for the shots he does make, they're very low percentage ones. Shots that he would normally miss most of the time. Whenever the defenses collapse, he most likely will not make the right play, instead preferring to force up a shot with multiple defenders right near him. Usually, in the regular season, defenses are not as locked in, and they don't get to their spots or put enough pressure on Randle to make him feel like he's getting hounded. In the playoffs though, every little thing matters. Every defender is a step faster, and every defensive scheme is calculated meticulously to make it as tough as possible. Opponents have the scouting, they know Randle's weaknesses and his blind spots, and he doesn't have the basketball IQ to find the right pass or make the right decision when he gets pressured like this. The biggest problem is when he starts missing shots or he's having an off night, he keeps trying to force it. And then when he has trouble getting to the rim, he's taking a lot of jump shots. It's like he's trying to force himself to score, even though he's not good at taking these shots. These are not his shots. He makes them sometimes, but for the most part, you don't want Randle to be taking these shots, unless you're the other team. This is the exact same mentality that caused the Knicks to lose against the Hawks a few years ago. This time though, his poor play has been masked by the fact that they trounced the Cavs in the first round. But even in that series, Randle was literally the worst player on the team. His team had an abysmal offensive rating of 91 when he was on the floor, the lowest of any player on the Knicks. There's a reason why his minutes got reduced and why Tom Thibodeau does not trust him at the end of games. The Knicks won that series not because of Randle, but in spite of him. Additionally, Randle's development in the 2022-23 season took an interesting turn. He's taken way more threes than he's ever had before, over 8 attempts per game on a rather mediocre 34%. But it has led to defenses respecting his outside shot more, cause he has streaks where he's gonna make them. Defenders are more likely to close out on him, which gave him more space to drive to the basket and finish. That's why he averaged a career high in points in the regular season. Randle exhibited the most complete offensive game we've seen in a long time from him. It just hasn't translated to the playoffs. because those bad habits he's had for most of his career still linger, and he resorts back to being the Randle of old. A hot-headed, overly passionate player who plays more off his own emotions than actual logic. To make matters worse, his three-point shot vanished. He takes the most threes on his team and shoots them horrendously. And because of that, he's gotten irritated and it negatively affects every other aspect of his game. There's nothing more miserable than watching a frustrated Julius Randle, let me tell you that. On the flip side, when Randle gets it going, there's nobody in the league that emits his type of energy and enthusiasm. When he's on, his entire team feeds off his energy. It's just very rare to see him play well in the playoffs. You know how I made a video about Karl Anthony Towns a bit ago, right? I was talking about how he's the most passive NBA star ever. Well, DeAndre Ayton, well, I guess he's not a star because he has yet to make an All-Star or All-NBA team, but in terms of passiveness and just lack of aggression and not wanting it bad enough, DeAndre Ayton fits the same mold, even if his expectations are lower than Towns. In the series against Denver, he's had consecutive games of just being completely ineffective, a total lack of effort that caused him to get benched in favor of Jock Landale. Honestly, if Ayton played with half as much effort as Landale, the Suns should be the favorites to win the title. Over the course of his career, Ayton's role has changed over the years. I think people expected him to dominate like a true big man. I mean, that's what his pre-draft scouting report said. But as the Suns acquired Chris Paul and later Kevin Durant, Ayton became more of a supporting player, a pick-and-roll partner who doesn't have many plays run for him. He's never been one to complain at his role, because the Suns started winning, and according to Coach Monty and his teammates, he's super supportive of everybody and he's not bitter at all, which reflects well on his personality. However, in the games the Suns won, Ayton was almost a complete non-factor, and he was actually a net negative. So far in the Suns' 2 victories, Ayton was a -17, while Jock Landale was a +26. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that Landale's increased minutes is why the Suns were able to make the series competitive. While Durant and especially Booker are pouring in the buckets, Landale is hustling. He sets better picks than Ayton, and he's doing all the dirty work to help his team win. According to NBA.com's Hustle Stats, Landale averages 11.5 screen assist points per 36 minutes. Ayton averages 10 screen assist points per 36 minutes. Also, despite playing just 13 minutes a game this playoffs, Landale contests the 4th most shots per game on this team. Landale's holding his opponents to just 39% shooting from 5 to 9 feet of the rim, while Ayton is allowing his opponents to shoot 53% from that same distance. The point is, you can't be getting out-hustled and defending worse than your backup. Also, in the series against Denver, he's getting out-rebounded by Kevin Durant, who seems to be trying way harder on the glass than he is. When Ayton was asked about his struggles and his lack of motor, he shut it down and responded, "Yeah, I don't know what that is. Motor? Come on, bro. I play both ends of the floor. My name is Dominatin'. I anchor the Phoenix Suns on both ends of the floor. Motor? Really? We're gonna talk about motor? I run on Tesla battery." Yeah, I mean, it's not just his motor either. He simply cannot defend Nikola Jokic. It's not like Landale does much better, but for Ayton, a guy he's not an elite defender, but he's one of the better defenders in the league for a big man. Theoretically, he has the foot speed and length to match up with Jokic, but he's just getting abused, out-muscled, and a lot of times, he's a step too slow. Ayton and Randle's struggles are kinda opposites in a way. Randle tends to be overly aggressive sometimes, and when that doesn't work, he settles for jumpers. But for Ayton, he almost plays too safe, is rarely ever aggressive to begin with. It's the lack of aggression, the lack of physicality that's hurting his cause, and he's just overall a very passive player. With all that being said, I think the Suns could make a more concerted effort to get him more involved in the offense too. But I guess when Booker is going off like this, Ayton is not a priority. Anyway, that's all folks. Those were 2 players who have underperformed in the playoffs so far. In Randle's case, it's been a pretty severe underperformance. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and of course, as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.